I think most people, if they knew they couldn't possibly fail, so if anything they tried would definitely turn out to be successful, I think most people would probably put in their plans something like traveling to the Bahamas or Hawaii or some other beautiful place, and maybe setting up their new life in that wonderful location. But if I knew that I couldn't fail and that whatever I tried to do would definitely succeed, I would like to go ahead and sign up for a master's in economics program at the University of Virginia, maybe have a minor in community development, get that done super quickly, then get a job working for something like the World Bank, which would give me some credibility back here in our community. And then I would, while working for the World Bank or some other organization like that, I would run for a spot on the County Board of Supervisors. I'd really like to have the power to make some changes in our community. I've been living here in Front Royal for only about 3.5 to 4 years, but during that time I've learned a lot about some of the factors that increase poverty here in our community. As a pastor, I work with people who struggle in all kinds of different ways. And together with some of my colleagues and other community leaders, I've learned a lot about some of the underlying causes of poverty and those difficulties here in our area. So if I knew I couldn't fail, then I'd go get those degrees. I would be elected to a spot on the County Board of Supervisors, and then I would volunteer with organizations like the Economic Development Authority here in our area, make sure that the county EDA and the town EDA are finally working together well. I'd make sure that we are an attractive area for industry. And one of the things I would definitely do would be to increase our ability to support really high-speed broadband here, so we could begin to attract some more tech industries. I would work on making sure that zoning was favorable to the creation of multi-family housing so that we could have more apartment complexes built in this area. And that would help to provide housing, especially at the more affordable level, for our teachers and our firefighters and our EMTs and people like that who really have a hard time finding affordable housing. Affordable housing is one of the huge issues that we struggle with here in our area. And as just a pastor and someone with very little political clout at this point, it's a big problem that I just don't know how to begin to address. Just feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall when I look at that problem. So the other thing I would do if I knew I couldn't fail would be to make some pretty huge improvements to our public transportation system. Working with the county, I would make sure that we had a bus system, a reliable bus system that went several times a day to Winchester, to the hospital system, and to some other key locations around Winchester where people would easily be able to get then onto Winchester's own public transportation system. I would make sure that all of the trolley and bus stops here in our town, the corridor connector stops, have a decent shelter and a map and a schedule of when the buses and trolley come through. I think that's something that we can get started with as soon as possible. Another thing I would do is take a close look at school zoning and use my power with the Board of Supervisors to begin to put some pressure on the school board to rethink especially the school zone that feeds E. Wilson Morrison Elementary School. It has a little tiny sliver of our county. Just about all the properties within that little sliver are, they tend to be, they tend to be low, it tends to be a low-income area. And so that really makes it difficult for the school to have parents who can volunteer their time or donate to things or be a powerhouse kind of PTO or PTA. And so that really puts all the students at E. Wilson Morrison at a disadvantage. So that's something I would definitely do. And there would be other ways that I would want to serve this community using that social capital and what I had learned from UVA and what I had learned from my job at the World Bank. So that's my fantasy of what I would accomplish if I could do anything and definitely not fail. But since I'm just one pastor working with a small group of colleagues here in town and in our county, I still want to try to do these things anyway. I still want to try especially to improve our public transportation system and to help the kids in our local schools as much as possible. So thank you and wish me luck.